Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this crypto update where we're going to speak about the majors as Bitcoin obviously is continuously going down as predicted in the last update. Make sure to check the last update if you are pretty new to this channel so you kind of get the logic. As you can see now in Bitcoin, and we're going to go over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, the most important ones, and market sentiment and where all of this is going into the future. So stay tuned so you know what to do in this confusing time of the market right now. So first of all, when we start with Bitcoin, you can see that we are basically having a lot of sell orders over here. So this is the order book at Trading Light, where we can see the red strong lines over here, which simulate basically or show us that there's strong selling pressure, more than even buying pressure in general. The blue lines stand for buying pressure. We are approaching a 108,000 kind of like number where we are seeing a little bit of buy pressure and limits coming in, and then obviously stronger ones at 102, which is very interesting because most likely we're gonna see this like down to a 102. Later when we go into trading view, we're going to see it a little bit better, but we are using especially the order book imbalances. We're having limits, we're having buy pressure imbalance in that sense, right? So therefore we are going down. We have rotation, which we are perfectly rotating. As you can see, we are here at approaching 1, which basically is the sell area for the rotation of BTC. And obviously here you can see the green one, which is the buy. And as you can see, once we go into the green area, the demand area, right, we start to rotate out and turn bullish. And as you can see now we just rotated recently into the red line, and that's the supply zone, right? So as you can see, we are bouncing off of that and there's still a lot to go. This is the middle basically here, right? So from this perspective of indicators and order flow, right, we have pressure coming in, but this is only spot. So let's switch together into futures where we will see a little bit more of a understanding of what is happening with Bitcoin. So we're going to switch here to Bitcoin USDT, USDM. So these are for perpetuals, right, for perps. And as you can see, same thing basically here. We are seeing strong sell limits, right? So if price, for example, would come back up to, let's say, 112, 113, 115, right? We have very strong sell limit orders sitting over here, so people want to sell. But at the same time, we have a very strong buy limit orders at 107, so a lot of asks at 107,000 per BTC. We again have a imbalance, bullish imbalance. We have a rotation, and we're coming out of the rotation of the supply area over here. So that's basically, as you can see, a very good indicator that we might continue to go down. At the same time, we have the rainbow, which is basically like a trend, right? It's like kind of Ichimoku, if you know Ichimoku. So if the price is above the clouds, right, it's bullish. If it's below the clouds and it respects the clouds, it's kind of like a resistance for now, right? So here it's support in this area, and then it turns into resistance, as you can see, and we're still staying in the lower levels of the cloud. So if I would zoom in, as you can see here, we are staying in these lower limits, and obviously that is very, very bearish, right? At the same time, if we go into BTC and we speak about open interest, right? Open interest is not very high, but also not very low, somewhere in the medium area. And as you can see, also we having strong sell signals over here. So just recently we had a sell signal at the top at the 9th candle for BTC, and now we are seeing a bearish engulfing, right? Which is also a strong daily bearish kind of confirmation. As you can see, a bearish engulfing means we have a bullish candle, a green one, and then the second one is a red one, which closes above the body of the green one, which kind of shows a shift in momentum to more like a bearish market. And that's also what we're seeing right now, right? Yeah. So let's get into total market cap, and then later on again into BTC. That's just like more a deeper understanding of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin obviously is the main currency. If we know and figure out what Bitcoin is doing, and for now it stands bearish, then we know what the rest of the market might do, right? Total market cap, which is representative of all the volume in the market of crypto, is in a downtrend, in a confirmed downtrend. Why confirmed? Because you can see, for example, here we have a the high, right? This is our high. And then we have again a bearish engulfing, right? And then we basically have our first low, and then we have another low, and that's like a downtrend, right? And then we have another low. Now we are kind of like having a little bit of support over here, right, in this fair value zone. And then we have another low here, which kind of indicates a strong downtrend, right? At the same time, if we use our Fibonacci extensions to predict future C target, which basically means where price is going, right? We kind of are going back into the buy and re-entry zone for crypto, right? Which is basically here the $3.25 trillion mark. If it's going there, I don't believe we're gonna go so low, but we are definitely in a confirmed bullish in a confirmed bearish setup, in a major bullish setup, right? So we are overall in a bullish setup. We still have a lot to go up to 5 trillion, but at the same time we are building up this bearish one. But I think these bearish moves are quickly lived. As you can see over here, last time we had the same thing, started to have a bearish move and then it finished quickly, right? Internal sequence, and then just continued to go up. Same here, it didn't even finish, right? So here you have a bearish move again, right? So if I take the arrow just to mark it out, we have the high here, we come bearish, but we finish the internal sequence, but not the secondary or the third, the big one, and then we just rally up again. And that's pretty much, I guess, what's gonna happen over here. So again, we might see a little bit of a, as you can see here, a down, and then somewhere over here might start to turn more or less. That's how most of the times it went, and I think it's gonna go the same, right? Now Bitcoin dominance, which represents how much of the market volume goes into Bitcoin, like how much is Bitcoin being traded. We are in a strong, very, very strong downtrend. So the Bitcoin dominance is losing. That means less people are interested in BTC. And as you can see, we have a very strong downtrend over here, which we still have a lot to go, to be quite honest. So there could still be a long time now where Bitcoin is not that interesting anymore. But overall, you know, Bitcoin is still going to be the main one. And if you're thinking investing in crypto, it's always good to have Bitcoin positions. Therefore, if Bitcoin obviously is correcting, the dominance, you can see Ethereum dominance is very, very strong, right? Ethereum dominance perfectly finished C target, right? So for people that see this for the first time, we are very good in predicting where price is going with the Fibonacci extensions. And as you can see, it perfectly did that, right? We have the low, we have the first high, we have the correction, and then our C target is basically here, the 200% correction and 1.168, which are all Fibonacci numbers. And as you can see, price went perfectly into that area. Now we need to adjust the Fibonacci re-entries a little bit. And as you can see, that would be the re-entry over here for Ethereum. Now, can we overcorrect? Yes, we can. So we can go higher, obviously, right? It doesn't mean we are just going to come down right now, but the possibility of coming down is pretty high, right? At the same time, we're also building a fair value zone over here, which we might respect from, right? So if you think of the 3 candles that we over here, and then we have a lowest point over here. So we have a fair value zone over here. And if it starts to respect this fair value zone over here, right, and people really getting off of Ethereum, right, we start to go down, and then obviously would see the altcoins pump, right? Because if Bitcoin dominance goes lower, Ethereum dominance is dropping. Sorry, Ethereum dominance is dropping, then it might be very interesting. Now, when it comes to USDT dominance, which gives us an idea if people are moving money into USDT or out of USDT, so means from USDT into the market or realizing profits, so therefore out of the market into USDT. You can see we are in a small uptrend here for USDT, right? So that means people are cycling money out of USDT and into the market, right? So as you can see, we are gonna see probably more people stacking USDT. I said that wrong, I'm sorry. So people are cycling out of them. I don't know if I said that, but I'm just gonna correct it and make sure you understand. So if we go higher here, right? So if we predict that we're gonna go up to the 5%, that means more people are holding USDT. It means they are getting out of the market, right? So if USDT percentile and dominance rises, it means more USDT is being held and therefore sold out of the market. If this drops, it means people are putting USDT back into the market, into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, into altcoins, into whatever, right? So that's basically over here, okay? Now let's obviously finally speak about BTC. As you can see, BTC right now, as we predicted, bounced off the fair value zone, kind of created a new high, which is sometimes normal, right? And then the new high gets liquidated. This basically is like a stop loss fishing area. So that basically means the market is like manipulating everyone out with their sell positions, right? And then they get liquidated because most traders would trade the fair value zone as following. They would have their stop loss over the last high. And as you can see, we finished out of this high, we hit stop loss, and then we started to crash down, right? And that happens often. So if you are a fair value trader, which I sometimes do, consider entering multiple times in fair value zones and don't be disgraced if you hit a stop loss, because many times after a high that was tested once or twice, sometimes we jump higher, right? And that's what we did, right? From there on, we are going very, very bearish, and we are also building a new bearish sequence over here, which finishes at 100,000, 96,000, right? Now, the thing is that we have still a strong uptrend, and the uptrend is still holding, right? Because if you think of it like that, that was our last low, right? We had a downtrend, and then we started a new trend up, which corrected here in the 50%, and from there on we're just going up and up and up. So we are in a bullish trend, right? So therefore we should not forget that just because we snap for a couple of weeks into a bearish setup, we are still overall in a very strong bullish setup for Bitcoin, right? So there's two key levels here that are very interesting for us that we need to monitor in BTC. The first one is going to be the one that we are in right now, which is the 50% correction of the last up. Okay, so this is this area over here, which we are kind of reacting off. And then with the bearish sequence that we are having, we end up in a C target, which runs into the overall uptrend 50% correction, right? So we basically have key level number one and key level number two. Okay, these are the two we need to check. So right now I still want to wait a little bit and don't just buy here, because at the end of the day you could start a trade here, but I don't think so that it makes sense to buy here right now. I just want to see a little bit more bullish confirmation. So for example, if we start to build like bullish sequences, like internally get a re-entry, then might start to buy again. But so far we are still in a confirmed downtrend, so it might just do this here, right? So these are the two scenarios right now for BTC. Right now a little bit indifferent, not buying, not selling. Last time I said I would start to buy here, but we are in a strong downtrend. Therefore, I'm not so interested in doing that, and I want a little bit more confirmation to be on the safer side, right? Now, if we speak about Ethereum, and as you guys remember, we are approaching the high in the dominance for Ethereum. Therefore, you're seeing the same thing here, right? We hit C target in Ethereum, as you see here, perfectly came into C target again. Fibonacci extensions perfectly showed us the way, and that's where we are sitting right now. We are kind of trying to make new highs in the sell area, which we are in, but it is more, in my opinion, a stronger sell right now, especially if we start to see more bearish momentum, kind of like building up a new low, right, which maybe goes below this one. So here, that would be a very good confirmation for us to then enter into a sell position for Ethereum, because we still have a lot of space to crack down up to $3,100 per Ethereum, and that would be the new key level and buy entry zone for Ethereum, right? So I think that's pretty much where it's gonna go. Again, if we use here the red arrow of future predictions, I truly believe we're gonna go to 3,100, and that would be obviously a good sell once we have a stronger internal confirmation. Now, when we speak about Solana, I tried to sell trades and I got stopped out, unfortunately, which is okay. We had our first sell over here, second sell over here, and as you can see, we are just hit stop loss again, because it's kind of like not respecting the downtrend and still very strong uptrend. Now for Solana, we need to do one thing and go into the order book flow and see where all of this buying pressure comes from, because it's pretty strong. So if we go into Solana, you can see a very big difference. Now, first of all, I started to sell over here where we were in the rotation point, right? We are kind of rotating out, but still we're going higher and higher, and that's kind of crazy. And we have a lot of buy orders. So Solana looks very good. So we can come up with a theory here. The theory would be Bitcoin pumped, Bitcoin dominance is now dropping. Ethereum pumped, Ethereum dominance is dropping. Now where the money is going is into Solana, right? And you can see that because we have a very strong leg up. So I would be bullish on Solana while being bearish on Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, okay? because we completely flipped. As you can see, we respected the rainbow ribbon, basically like the cloud, right? And we're coming out of it very strong. Especially if we make a new high, it's going to be very interesting. At the same time, we are completely ignoring the rotation, so pretty interesting for Solana, to be very honest. Need to see how it develops. So far there is no entry, we are very high, it makes no sense to buy into a pump, but we need to see how Solana continues. Okay, another coin that I love to trade, see, and where I took profit recently, also spoke about it last time, is BNB, right? BNB right now is at a 50% C, is at the C target. So now we are more looking for a sell area, right? And if we check out BNB, BNB. I don't have BNB, so let's add BNB. BNB USDT. This is spot, and then we need BNB Binance USDM, which is this one. Okay, so if we go into BNB USDT on USDM, you can see we are also coming out of the rotation bearish. We have a lot of sell orders, which we don't have in Solana. And then we have a bullish imbalance, right? So here, same thing, still pretty bullish, kind of like fading away. We have more sell limit orders. We are triggering sell limit orders over here, right? And that's why we are coming down. So for BNB, we might see a correction. No, I didn't want to zoom in that much, guys. Relax. So we might see a stronger pushback, let's say, to the 75.6. If we check where we start, 703. 703 is somewhere over here, right? I don't know if we're gonna go that low, but so far that's more or less where we are predicting to go. Okay, XRP is still a profitable trade for me so far. It is a little bit choppy right now around this area, kind of want to go lower, kind of is not going lower, but I'm still in this trade. I am currently let's see, I am currently 7% in profit with 11x leverage, so it's a pretty good trade. At least we are making the money back we lost in Solana with 2 trades, so that's good. And now if it obviously starts running down, then it's going to be even better. But there's also no real re-entry sell right now. The only sell we have would be starting, or we already came to, was 308. Would I re-enter right now? No, because in general we are somewhere in the middle of everything, right? So I wouldn't re-enter right now. If you're already in the position and if you followed me with the last call and last update, then again, you're in profit, your stop loss break even, so you're not losing anything, you can only gain, right? But yeah, that's basically the most important coin. So I would be bearish on everyone besides Solana. Solana's showing strong moves, right? Then also recently I started to get into Ondo again, as you can see over here. So I just put in a spot and a trade on Ondo. This is the entry, you can still enter. Stop loss is at 0.7285. Take profit is a very high, it's a very big swing trade, right? It's sitting at 2.87. So it's a very long swing trade with 2 or 3x leverage, nothing big, okay? Anything else I did so far? Not really. As you guys know, I'm always a big fan of a couple of meme coins over here. One of them is Candle, which again I'm buying, right? It's more risky. And then SPX obviously is coming down. SPX right now is in a buy zone, so if you would like to trade SPX, you would have an entry right now. You would have your stop loss at 0.62, okay, which is a 50% stop loss, and then you would have your take profit in C target, which is basically 134%. So a risk to reward of 2.74, which is okay. If you're using leverage, be a little bit mindful. You can go with smaller stop losses. You could start your first trade over here with a 6% stop loss just to see, but I would do a 1 trade and more long term. And then we have tick, which is finally bouncing off the 0.786, which is a insanely important, interesting zone for meme coins, because that's where they most likely start to react strong. As you can see over here, right, we had that in the past where we started to react very strong here, and then a retest nearly here, and then normally it flies, right? So I'm very much looking forward for this reaction. It is at a perfect buy zone, and as you can see, we are perfectly bouncing off it. So very interesting trade. And obviously a trade would look like this. You would enter right now, you would have your stop loss below the last low, which is 33%, but then you would have a take profit of 400%, right? Which is crazy. So yeah, two trades you have right now, guys, here, tick, SPX, right? And candle, same thing. So candle would be entry over here right now, stop loss over the last low over here, which is 31%, but then take profit is immense, right? Take profit is 460%. So we can get a little bit higher, 470%. Okay, so that's basically right now what is the most interesting thing for us. Yeah, there's a couple of things we need to look out for finishing this up. In September, we might have, very most likely have rate cuts, right? So that means US dollar is going to go down. As you can see right now, the DXY is going up, so therefore crypto is also going down, because if DXY goes up, crypto goes down. But then we might have a big crash with the interest rates being cut, right? That means we have a lower dollar. If dollar crashes down, crypto goes up. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So therefore keep the DXY in mind. So September, I think, is going to be a pretty good month for crypto. Maybe mid-September, maybe not the beginning. But especially as we were speaking about Bitcoin, I don't think we're going to completely go back to 90,000, 100,000 so far. If we have bad news, obviously that could happen. If we have strong news, we could bounce back off right now. But I don't think so. I think we're going to find support here in this area, basically here in this area, and start to push it up again, right? And then finally finish the 127K, which we have predicted since 2.5, 3 years, okay? That being said, guys, be mindful in the market, be careful, always apply good risk management. This is my opinion, right? I'm not a financial advisor, just a professional trader and investor, and these are my moves and what I'm doing. You may copy them if you want to. Obviously, risk is 100% with you. And if you love this content, make sure to follow, comment, like, share with other people. There's no big rah-rah in these videos, nothing I'm trying to sell you, just what I am doing as a trader and investor, managing my own capital. And also, yeah, that's basically it, guys. Okay, with that being said, see you in the next one.